Okay. And we're back. Hello, everyone. I am Sin, the artist. I will be doing some pixel art for the rest of the day. Okay. So let me tweet this. I'll be. Whoa. Profile, go to channel. Alright. Still art. Okay. Cool. Hello, cab. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. Tana's off to do a thing. I don't know, some stuff. Can you guys test if the voice level okay? Yeah, please let me know in the chat if there's some kind of weird echo thing going on. That seems to happen. All right. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna work on a couple more so-called centerpieces for the forest biome. So you can see here that I've worked on the demon spirit tree, the altar, the ziggurats, just finished, some tree stuff. And I think the next one on my list is some kind of half-finished massive statue. So that's gonna be fun. Let's see. Alright. I think this is gonna be the reference for it. Yes. I think this is what I'm making. It's being worked on by the sculptor. Person with wings. Half finished. Okay. Cool. Oh, this is cool. This is cool too. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah. Alright, got some reference. Alright, seems that I'm sounding clear, so that's cool. It's so clear, it's like you're in the same room. That's accurate. Okay. Q. Now, let's see. I'm gonna also grab an image of sculpture in progress. Oh, I think I found it. All right. There seems to be some kind of lag. It's weird. Oh well. Nimrod. Sorry, guys. Apparently, there's some buffering issues. Nimrod. Is it ivory? That's mean. It's just a white rock. No ivory. Ivory is not nice. Okay. So let's draw a big ass block.
Is there something that actually transfers to say there's a climate that actually calculates. And maybe a good system would actually put a kind of spherical line on the camera. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so have that in the same one. Okay. So that means I know that you just do a weird check with my check away. Check, but yeah, we can also do it.
All right. Yeah, so it's always a good idea to grab some reference. I find that it usually helps a lot with just coming up with a good idea. So I usually start by just sketching some general big shapes, you know, get an idea of what I want to go for.
It impacts how, I mean, the first thing I set for myself as a task is I would
I think it makes sense for a sculpture to start off as a giant block of stone,
It wouldn't affect anything if
and I can add some rubbles.
not trying to solve this problem.
Maybe I should add some scaffolding devices, like some scaffolding structures, because we're gonna have a character called the sculptor, and she will be sculpting this, and I think there's some kind of event happening when you talk to her. So it would make sense for her to have some kind of something to stand on while working on this really tall structure. Otoshi asked us, what kind of myths are we basing it on? Mostly Assyrian myths. Like Tanya has a big stacks of books. She's been reading the Gilgamesh. She's been reading the Poetic Edda, Beowulf, and some other stuff. And there's also a book on the basic 7 structures of myths. But we're trying to inspire ourselves with ancient Assyrian mythology. So for example, this image I'm looking at, I think is Assyrian. Nimrod. Yeah. It is Assyrian. Yeah, so other than that, currently we're getting ready to go to PAX. I don't know if Tanya mentioned it, but we'll be going to PAX, and Tanya and Joan will going to GDC, but it's mostly me who will be showing the game at PAX East next month. So a lot of work to do with that. Like we're getting some pins ready. I don't know if you've seen these cool pins, pretty cool. So I gotta print a whole bunch of these and actually make them myself. And we're getting working on a little postcard. So there's like an early test print of the postcard. We'll be giving those away. And also we're working on a giant like standing banner. It's just so that we have some more visibility at PAX because it's gonna be like really packed, right? Packed at PAX. A true story. Okay. just got paxed. That's a cool like thing. I think there's like a horn on their head, like a thing. That's descriptive. Okay, something like that, I think. Want a bigger wing. You are pro at this? Someone asks. I guess I am currently a professional artist. I think I just draw pixel stuff, really. No, but I think so. I would say that. I would say so. But pixel art this is probably the first pixel art game that I'm working on. So in the beginning, it's quite a bit of exploring and learning to do, and now I feel quite a bit more comfortable with it. So it's a lot easier. Zitto, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. keep it there for now. Maybe I should extend this. Yep. Easter eggs is the best. Should put it everywhere. Also, we've been we're slowly getting sounds into the game, and it's really helping the game feel a lot better. Well, someone in the stream says I'm doing things very quickly. Thanks. I think that's one of the advantages of doing pixel art, I guess. So it's a bit faster, less cleanup to do. Like the distance from doing the sketch to the final product is much shorter, a lot less work than, let's say, something more painterly or fully drawn, high res, whatever. It is a mock-up, but at the same time, it's gonna be in the game pretty much as it is, because I'll export the whole thing anyway. So it helps a lot to draw it in the environment that's gonna be, because then I can tell exactly how it would appear in game. And I just sent it off to Tanya, as you saw earlier. She would just make the object based off the sprites I exported. And it looks very close to what I have in Photoshop, so that's great. Very quick. Like I have the ziggurat right here. This is what I worked on. And before I export it, I have to just cut it up into different sections like this. right? And before before the detailed version, I would usually sketch out something quick. Like this is the first rough sketch of the ziggurat, and based off, I mean, once I have something that I find interesting, once I have the shapes that I need that I find interesting, I can just refine on it and separate into different pieces. It's important to separate into pieces so that the collision is easy to deal with. Because when you have an irregular shape, when you have a building with an irregular shape like this, it's much harder to place a appropriate collision for it. But when you separate into shapes with sort of square bases for each part, it's easier. Steve asked me if it's hard at the beginning. Yeah, I think so. It wasn't easy. We went through a lot of different versions of the art style before we got to where we are right now. It took a lot of iterations, but I think we found something pretty cool, and it's always changing. With every new thing I make, it changes. My understanding of pixel art changes a little bit. So it might be that by the end of the project, I have to go back to the older assets and rework them a little bit because I got them better at it, or that we changed direction a little bit over time. Yeah. Someone says, I love the way you're letting the image be fluid and evolve. I think that's just a fun way to work, right? It gets a bit messy sometimes because it starts very chaotic, and I start off with like a blob of stuff, and I slowly refine it. Some people, they would do like a clean line drawing before they color it in. But I prefer to work this way. It's a bit more chaotic, but yeah, it's just more fun because it's more organic. You don't really know what it would look like until you're done with it. Whereas if you already did the line drawing, it's a little bit set in stone, so you're less willing to make changes. At least with pixel art, I would do this. I'm using a Wacom and Wacom, I don't know. I can show you the thing. It's pretty big. It's like this thing right here. This is it. This is a pen. So it's like I think it's an Intuos. Sorry, it's gonna make a lot of sounds. Intuos 5, I think. But yeah, it's much better than using a mouse. At least for my wrist, I think. .360 no scope. Yeah, even when I'm drawing, I'm Wacom. Even when I'm drawing, I'm thinking more in terms of shape than lines. A lot. Yeah, I'm now sitting down. I don't know if you guys remember, but last time we streamed, I had a standing desk, but I gave up. I gave up on that. Can't. Nope. It lasted for a good like month, I think. But I think I just got tired. Oh well. Chairs are pretty cool, you know. I think they're cool. I'm gonna make the statue a little bit taller. Yeah. Painting over line art would take more time, I think. But it'll be perfect for something that needs to be more detailed, I suppose. Not perfect, but better. Alright, at this point I'm pretty happy with the shape of it, and I'm just gonna start refining the pixel art, the pixels. And it's really just fixing little curves, adding little shading here and there, small details. Yeah, I mean, with our current process, I think we can just get this in the game really quickly. I mean, the part that would take a bit more time is that if there's a quest related to it, it's going to be an NPC sitting by the statue, the sculptor NPC, and that NPC would need a portrait, which I already did, fortunately for this one. So we will need a portrait for that NPC, but we'll need a dialogue and the whole quest line for it. And that's what Mike is working on right now, a dialogue system. I don't know if that ties in with the quest stuff. Does it? Maybe?
Yes.
Mike,
Yeah.
does your dialogue tree thing, does it tie in with the quest stuff?
Well, we don't really have proper quests, right? So it's more NPCs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sort of.
That's cool. Like a visual, we have like a visual node editor.
Yeah, it'll allow Tanya to have NPCs that give like reward items and give
Hi,
money.
Mike.
And, so yeah.
Yeah. I like to invert the colors from time to time, just to track down little pixels on the edges. Because I mean, normally it will be hard to spot those pixels, right? Like if you had a straight pixel right there, it's hard to spot it. But once I invert it, you can see it really clearly. Then I invert it back, keep working. Is there a chance of some more spoilers? I don't know. The demo, we'll be showing the demo because we'll have a playtest. We'll have people come into the office to test the game. So we'll be streaming that. So you'll be able to see people's reaction. I think we'll just like maybe stream the game itself at that point. So you'll be able to see how, you know, how far we've gotten and how broken some stuff is, obviously. But I think that'll be next Friday. Other than that, we'll be showing more stuff every Friday this month. I think maybe we'll be showing some of the. I can show you guys some of the story scenes I've been working on, because we have this campfire system now instead of the town management. The campfire is the campfire camping area where you go to after each adventure to do different activities and gain stats that way. For example, right now in the desert, the camp has cooking, meditating, stargazing. No, there's no meditating, but it's cooking, keeping watch, hunting, stargazing, and resting. And they're sort of like little random events, and only one character could do one thing at a time. And for example, hunting will give your character more strength, and resting would heal some of the wounds. Stargazing, I think you gain other stats. I forgot which one. Choose here? Oh yeah, you're right, I did. Thanks. Just got a piercing in her hair. Will the game have Konami code? We can do that. That's possible. I can't confirm or deny it. Plot hole. Nice one.
just running this chart to figure out how to do it. That made the most sense at the time. And then tell them how to do it. Go through the course. Just because it has to reset data all the time. Instead of just like, hey, is this happening? This is happening here. It's reset it 2 times. Because like I made more than that. How is weird too? By the way, we're just talking explosions, right? Like that's actual physics forcing them flying. You have like 2 different ones, like exactly on it. Talk about. Consider even if you use not like actually like I'm not really talking about like on it, but on it. Just like that.
Bacon beam. Bacon Lord will rise again.
I wish they would just like slightly pop on, and for the most part, like like it spawn, and just like that's the problem. Well, I mean, like for the match, okay. That's freaking out. Next pass, go pass next. People in chat are going to the bacon team again.
Alright, I think what I'm going to do now is draw a little shadow. Because the shadow will slightly change the color of the ground, and that's going to change the transition from the edge, the bottom edge of the statue to the grass.
There's different parts of it, you have different layers in order to it can't appear all at the top because then when you're shooting it backwards, it'll be on top of the layer. And since we're supporting all directions, like, it's like cut below. Yeah. We have to actually move everything to that.
So this is how I created shadows.
Or we segment.
There's a dark brown color to draw the shape of it, and then I just make it more transparent.
No, but there's some ones that make that. And it's still be one of the pictures, so like it will all look the same way. Unless we have tons of little measures that we're it's just like 50 line groups. Yeah. But which one might as well just take a spider? Like the animation itself to not go on top of the ditch, so just like space it out a little bit so that it's always in front of her as opposed to like just sliding it out. Like right then backward, like cut off the head or whatever. Well, it's the beam has a sort of it does. So is it actually updated to patterns? Might just be figuring out whatever. Yeah, I think it's stuck at something. No, it must be. It is being updated. Otherwise, it would get hit.
I'm gonna add a little second block behind it. Suggest that bigger sculpture.
Oh, right.
You had a question? Sorry, let me double check. I'm not sure I got your question. I saw the one that's asking me if it's a mockup or I'm gonna export it. Could you write your question below? That'll be cool. Well, the question is, do you have any specific palette or approach to keep the art from meshing together without using outlines? That's a good point because I mean, most of the case, yeah, the outline really helps make the character separate them from the background. But without outline, what you really have to use values, right? You have to make sure that the character or the object is always either lighter or darker than the background. And if you look at these characters here in the bottom, I've designed it in the way that there's always a little patch of white, a little patch of light color, a little patch of dark color, so that no matter what the background color is, they will read, they will have some contrast with the background. So if we were to, give it a dark background, it will work. Give it because all the light colors are popping up. But you see the Spellblade's pants is kind of blending with the background, but that's okay because the rest of his body is popping a lot. When it's white, his hair is disappearing, but his like shirt, his top is still darker. Even if we use like the purple from the occultist, even though most of the occultist is invisible now, the lighter parts of her costume will show up. So she's still readable and visible. Same thing with the druid. His cape is gone, but the white part of his costume is showing up. Same thing with the witch. So all the characters have a dark mid-tone color and a very bright color, so that there's always contrast, good contrast with the background. And the thing with the backgrounds is that in all biomes, I've kept the backgrounds very subdued, right? Like, look at this grass, it's pretty much just a very small range of green colors. So I can predict, what the contrast will be for the background, so I can make all my assets fit in with that color. So, for example, the statue, it's important that I make it very light because this green is pretty light. If I made the statue darker, like this, it will be a bit harder to read. You can see how the mid-tone, this yellow ochre color now, is blending in a lot with the green. It's because they have very similar values now. And value is when you turn everything to black and white, right? Oops, that's the wrong thing. Black and white. Okay, actually it's not accurate. Got this. Set to saturate. Yeah. So without color information, everything still needs to read. So I just have to make sure that this color of the statue is a different value than the value of the grass. And yeah, I'm keeping it very light so that there's a good contrast between the grass and the statue. That's pretty much it. It's about toning down your colors a lot so that everything works together. No problem. Like for example, right now, I find the dark color on the rock, this color right here, this dark gray color, is blending in a lot with the shadow color. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try to make it either darker or lighter so that there's a better contrast. So let's see what we can do. Or maybe give it a strong hue so it differentiates itself. I think I have to make it darker at this point and give it some more saturation. Kind of like this blue. It's a little bit too saturated. I kind of like it. So I might keep it like this. Yeah. And we might want to, but now the problem is there's too much of a difference in values between the lighter color and the dark greenish blue. So I'm going to take this purple and darken it a little bit. Well, not purple, but you know, reddish color. Ooh, I think this green works really well too. This is like the fun part, I guess, of coloring. It's when you get to test out different colors. Kind of like this. That's interesting. It makes the lighter tone really warm. Not sure about the blue. I think the green would be good. I think something like that is good. Yeah. And something about the highlight color bothers me. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just a bit too cool. The colors are too cool. Maybe something warmer like this. Yeah, that's good. No, Cal, you're cool. We might need another color in here. Yeah, something a bit more so, like that. This is good. So I'm going to introduce another color in here. Just adding a little variation in the color there. Something like that might be cool. And what else?
I was looking for the silhouettes that were on this water surface. This is really cool TV. Nice. It's just spring. Is it splashing through the
Whoa. Hello, Beats Kitano. What's up? I know you from Twitter. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a short 5-minute break.
no breaks.
Break. BRB. 5 minutes. And when we come back, we can look at some of the cutscene stuff that I made, that I was working on. It's pretty cool stuff, I think. Yeah, it's slightly different aesthetic. It's the hand-drawn watercolor ink, splashy color type of feel. And yeah, I think it's just visually more impactful than pixel art for those type of scenes. So I'll show you guys that a bit later. Be right back. All right, we are back. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. I could finish it, but I'll finish it later. Yeah, people come in here to use a microwave sometimes. You know what? I don't like this extra color. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah, get rid of it. That's better. Okay. Let's show you guys some stuff. Okay. So, first thing we can look at is the cutscene. So this might be the first time we're showing it on the internet like this, but we've been working on the cutscenes for the YAM. So right now we're thinking of making them like pre-recorded motion graphics, sort of animated story scenes, storybook illustrations. I don't know. So this will be the first cutscene where we show that the moon's gone missing and stuff. Everybody in the village gathers to feast for the moon festival, but she doesn't rise. What has happened? And that'll be one of the first cutscenes. So that'll be the actual cutscene stuff. The story scenes I'm talking about, it's gonna be more like, try and find it. So I can show you the scene. There's a lion here, but whatever, delete it. So this will be the camping area. So you would spawn here, and it'll be during the nighttime. And yeah, so the different activities can go to. Here's resting, cooking, stargazing, and hunting. You can see a little goat icon right there. And in the bottom, keeping watch. So your character will spawn here after fighting, after an adventure area. We'll come back to the camping area, and you can each choose to do a different thing, and they each give you slightly different stats increases. So it's a bit more interesting than just leveling up, what else? Yeah, and each different activities gives you different results, right? There's usually 3 different possibilities. For cooking, for example, you could have a bad result, like you burn your food. You can have a good result, which is you make something, and a really great result, which is you make something really delicious and gives you a bonus stat increase. And each one of those will have a different illustration that goes with it. Because before that, we used to show those scenes in pixel art in the engine itself. So like here will be one of the hunting scene results. But one of the problem with that is that in pixel art in the engine, like with just the in-game assets, the characters are so small and it's hard to convey certain actions with the really tiny pixel art character. So it's much easier to show those more, sometimes more abstract and more specific actions with an illustration. So I'll show you some of those. Camping scenes. So this is for hunting. That's the background, and this is the mock-up for hunting. I think this was in the newsletter. Yeah, all the secrets. But we have like 6 minutes left, so like might as well show these things. Or sometimes it might be a special event, right? So.
Those icons are new.
Hmm?
On the ground, those icons are new.
Yeah, those icons are new because I find that they're a bit more clear UI than whatever. Yeah. Kind of ripped them off from Bastion, just a little bit inspiration from there.
Yeah, it's inspiration.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, so the work I have to do for these is I have to basically draw each character for each scene. Right, so ritualist, druid, witch, and this is the medium result for hunting. This is a crappy result for hunting. You just kill a rat, so it's a poor rat, you know. Cute thing, getting killed. Nick, the writer is Tanya. She's yeah, she's a English literature undergrad, so she actually does some good writing.
All those W's.
That's right. No, it's I think it's because W is one of the widest letters, so it's a good way to test your max character count for the thing. I don't know if it makes sense. So this one is the good result for hunting. You got a lot of food. It's a feast. So druid, occultist, spellblade here, and the witch. She's transparent. There you go. Yeah, so over the next couple of weeks, I'll be finishing off these illustrations for different results. And it's going to be pretty fun, I think. So yeah. Layers, man. Layers are the best. You know what I'm saying? And I'll show you like a secret thing. Secrets. To speed up the process, I've actually just cut up the characters a little bit. You don't see it, but it just makes much more sense to kind of slice them up. So instead of having to redraw the same characters every time, because there's going to be a lot of scenes, right? I separated them into different pieces. So I got like one thing for hands. I mean, I've drawn these, so it's not like I'm cheating or anything, but I guess I'm cheating. But here we go, ritualist, spellblade. So I usually do a little sketch first of the type of pose I need, and then I just drag these in, and I transform and morph it. It's a bit like a puppet, but I have to redraw a lot of things after. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're working on this. I think this is gonna make the game feel pretty cool, like almost like it almost has a visual novel component to it with these scenes. And yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. I'm having fun drawing these, and we'll change the background depending on your biome, so that it feels like it's at different places. Because different biome will have different camping options, right? So hunting in the forest will be different from hunting in the desert. And yeah, this is the statue we made today. I think I still have to make the pixel art character for the sculpture. But we're pretty much done here. And yeah, it's 4:57. Any last questions? For the quest story choices, would there be any leveling in terms of influence, persuasion, varying or adding conversation choices? Yes, but it will not be based on levels. It will be based on character traits, right? Because characters can have several traits, and we'll be checking for traits to add new options to the dialogue. So in the options, if you're, I don't know, if you're violent or vengeful, you might have some very violent options, obviously. And when you pick certain options, it can give you different traits. Like if there's in the demo, there's an old man who asks you for water, I think. And if you choose not to give him any water, I think you get the trait of the selfish trait. And if you're compassionate and you give him water, you get the compassionate trait. And later on, like people will react differently based on your traits. Like yeah, people will actually beg you for money if you have the compassionate trait and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. I think we're still early in the narrative mythology type system, but yeah, I think it's gonna be fun developing that. Any other questions? We got 1 whole minute. Yeah, so make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm gonna show you guys the Twitter link because we'll be keep up to date and stuff, social media stuff. For more news on other streams we'll be doing in the future. You can follow this channel. It's my channel, but I mean we use it for 100 stuff, so it doesn't really matter. Why are you so cool? It's the other guys. I'm just Pixel Monkey. That's what they call me. We are going to PAX East, and our booth number I think is 5207. We will be part of the Up North Indies. It's a group of local indies. Like there's some people from Quebec, but mostly like Canadian indies. We set up our own little indie booths. So check us out. We'll be there. You can try the game. We'll have the game. We'll have a massive banner. Guess nobody cares about that though. We'll have pins. We'll be selling those cool little pins. I don't know if you can see them. Pins. We'll have this cool postcards that you can grab for free. Yeah. So have a good weekend, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And you can also like us on Facebook. I will get the link. Facebook. Thanks, guys.